Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Couples Coverage. I'm your host, Nicholas Moriano. To my left is my beautiful and amazing fiance, Stephanie Bonce. How you doing, baby?
I'm doing good. I'm tired, trying to wake up a little bit because we are currently recording at 9:30. I feel like we've probably recorded later than this before.
Oh, I don't know about that one. I mean, This might be our latest late night recording, but that's okay.
Yeah, so I don't know. Trying to wake up, drinking some coffee.
And you also got to wake up early for yoga in the morning.
Yes, I do.
But we wanted to do this, get another episode of Couples Coverage out there and recorded, so we have, our outline ready to go with a bunch of topics that we're looking forward to talking about.
Yeah, and I also just wanted to say thank you to everyone who listened to our last episode because it had been a while. So I honestly was like, oh my gosh, no one's going to listen to this because we've been gone for so long. Like, who cares at this point? But I felt like people tuned in.
Yeah, they tuned in, like over 300 views on YouTube, which is, that's good for us. Like knowing that like you said, we weren't recording for a while, but seeing that was awesome. And you got a bunch of awesome messages too.
Oh my gosh, I got so many messages. I thought it was so nice.
Yeah, and you shared those with me, so that was really cool to see.
Yeah.
Also, like, I don't know, I just looked up like couples podcasts, and we're number 20 in the top 40 couples podcasts in 2025.
But according to what list?
I think it's called FeedSpot, which I don't know how they gather their information. But maybe there's not a lot of couples podcasts out there, so there's room to grow. But we were number 20 out of 40 there. So if we consistently, keep on recording, maybe we can crack the top 10 here.
Yeah, no, I wanted to see who's in the top spots because I heard somewhere a long time ago that if you get past episode, like, I'm just going to make this number up, but like, for example, if you go past episode 5, you've already beat a ton because a lot of people start one and then don't do it again.
Wow. Yeah. FeedSpot, 40 best podcasts for couples in 2025. Couples Things with Sean and Andrew, number 1. Sex with Emily, number 2. But yeah, if you keep scrolling down, and you can do this yourself, you look up 17, 18, 19, number 20.
That is so weird.
It's right there. Maybe you can see
and
that.
And the thing is, like, I would never know that unless we Googled it or someone mentioned it to me. But like, that is so weird that we're on some list and we just wouldn't ever really know.
Yeah. I've been on this list for like Bears podcasts and stuff. Again, I don't know how they gather their information over there, but we just got to keep on recording, and then we'll move up whatever that list is.
Yeah. And then another thing, I know we mentioned our sign. Our sign is still
here.
It's here. It's just we can't find the remote for it. So if we can't find it, I don't know, we might have to change our setup.
Well, it's a cool sign, and like we're gonna find that remote, but that's like the one. I was helping a friend move this past weekend. That's the thing about moving. You just need to be super organized and like know where little things are at. Like I think we have all of our boxes labeled, but it's not like every box has a detail. Like couples coverage remote is in this box. So
yeah, because you can say like miscellaneous, and then it could be a whole bunch of things in there.
It could be a bunch of things. So I don't know if it's here at your parents' house. Maybe it's at my parents. I have no. It's got to be somewhere.
Yeah.
We didn't just lose it, but we do have the sign, and we'll get it up eventually once we find the remote.
Yeah. So to be continued on that one, but okay. So should we get into it?
Our Walmart Target adventures
rundown.
Yeah.
You wanted to start with the Walmart. I guess it's the most recent.
Yeah, Walmart, but that's all you. What's going on there?
So I've been seeing this. I don't know if it's viral. I really don't know. Actually, I think it is. But I don't know if it's just on my For You page because sometimes I look up like healthy recipes. So I saw this carrot ribbon salad, and it looked so good. And so for days and days I've been craving this salad, but honestly, the biggest thing now that we moved back, I don't like running into people that I might know at the store.
Mm-hmm.
Because like I'll run out of here looking literally like Adam Sandler sometimes.
And big hoodie and sweatpants, and
I just look crazy sometimes. But so that was a nice thing about living in a completely different town than like you grew up, because I just knew I did not care. I'm never going to run into anybody that I know.
True.
And here I get kind of like
Paranoid.
maybe a little bit. So I saw that Walmart had free pickup option, which I've never done, but I'm like, oh my gosh, perfect. So I literally got like all the ingredients, everything that I wanted. And then I went to go pick it up. You just basically have to like go to a parking spot, tell the app that you're there, and they'll bring it out for you. So this guy starts to like pack my car with all the food. This is just like a Walmart like employee. So I know sometimes people do like the delivery apps for like you can make extra money. Just some people do. What is it called? Like
I mean, like Grub. I think.
Yeah,
Grub,
just
yeah,
like things. But this one was
Uber
just
Eats,
like through the actual store. But anyway, so the guy starts packing my car, and he was like, "So how long have you been married for?" And I'm like, well, first I was kind of confused. I'm like, how does he even know? Or like, I'm like, no, I'm engaged. And he was like, oh, how long have you been engaged for? And then I was just answering. I thought he was trying to make small talk. And then he said, oh, okay. So he asked me how old I was. And then he asked me if I'm allowed to have friends.
Dude is just gathering all the information. Now, did he pack the car in your backseat?
Yes, because my trunk is still full of stuff from like our move.
Maybe that's where the couples coverage remote is at.
No.
Okay. Never mind.
I know what's back there. It's not like
okay.
things like that. But so I called you because it is kind of uncomfortable to be getting hit on. I can tell that's kind of where he was going, because he's like, how old are you? And I don't know. I can just tell. He's like, are you allowed to have friends? I didn't even know how to answer that. I was like, how do you answer that?
How did you answer it?
I'm like, it depends. Of course I can have friends. I'm probably not the type of friend
you want to be.
You want to be, yeah. So yeah, I just thought it was kind of funny, but I called you because I always get kind of uncomfortable. I also just think it's kind of funny to share with you. I'm like,
yeah, no,
hey,
I mean,
I'm getting hit on.
Getting hit on by the Walmart employee, and hey, I guess he was shooting his shot, but now with my fiance, I'm watching you. I know exactly the Walmart too.
Yeah, but that was just a little story that I thought was kind of funny.
I don't know how I don't think I've ever done that where you park in that designated spot and have the people come out to you and bring the groceries. Honestly, just before you did it, but I always thought it was just super lazy.
Well,
I completely understand. And there are people too that, maybe it's super convenient. Like moving is just not,
I think it's a great option.
It's a great option, but
think about the elderly.
Yeah, no, stuff. It's perfect for, people who can't, move as freely as they want to or want to be seen by anybody. But I've never done it. I don't think I will.
I think it might be extra, but like, I just also know that sometimes if I'm at the grocery store, I end up buying more than what I want because I see things and then whatever. But if I just do my list of what I need, like, I'm not going to be spending more than I have to. But yeah, if it wasn't free, I probably wouldn't do it, because otherwise to me it feels like a waste of money. I can just go in there.
Yeah,
but I was also working, so it was just a quick stop.
That makes sense. You can also spend less money if you make maybe less night runs at Target, which is what we did the other day, where we were, I don't know, where are we coming back? I don't even remember where we're coming back from, but we looked at what time Target closed at, and it said 10 p.m. And we were cutting it really, really close, to the point where I don't know how you feel about this, but I almost feel uncomfortable going to a place that's closing. And even though you technically enter in before the 10 p.m. close, it's like, man, I used to work retail, like, before, back, just in previous jobs. And whenever I saw somebody enter the store 5 minutes before closing, I just thought in my head, like, why? Why are you doing this to me? Or why are you doing this to everybody here? Why couldn't you just have waited? And we were those people at Target to get, like, little things. It was little things that we just needed to get.
So I started doing early workouts. So I need something to get me up.
That's not coffee.
That's not coffee, because sometimes making your own coffee takes a while. Like I just wanted to get something quick and go in the mornings. It was that, and I think you forgot your toothbrush or something. So we were like, okay, we gotta stop and get your toothbrush. So we ran in there within like minutes of it closing. So I felt bad too. But I also knew that I wasn't going in there just to like browse and shop or do whatever. Like I was running in there to get something super last minute. And thankfully the doors weren't closed yet. But I do feel bad. And I remember some little kid yelled at us. He's like, they're closing.
Oh yeah.
Like the lights were shutting off and stuff. And some little kid that was in a cart, his mom was pushing him in his cart. He starts like, it's closing. I'm like, you're in here too.
I mean, I dropped you off up front so that you can run in there, and then I parked the car, and then as I'm entering in, like the employees that are all towards the front, they're like, I want to get the hell out of here.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, I'm just going to find my fiance to, get in there. And so as I'm walking, I knew what aisles you'd be in. Past one of the other employees, like, hey, just to let you know, it closes at 10. I'm like, I know, my fiance somewhere over here. I'm going to find her. And, there I am walking, finding you. And then, grabbed a couple of items. But there were maybe...
There were a couple people,
other
checking
people
out and stuff. But again, I didn't feel terrible because it's not like I didn't know where the things were, like literally running in there. I kind of felt like, have you ever seen those TikToks where it's like, you have 5 minutes to get whatever you want? Have you seen those?
I think I know what you're talking about.
Sometimes I've seen them for like Sephora, where these like random like rich people would be like, I'll give you 5 minutes to get whatever you want. I'll buy it for you. And you have to like run and get everything. That's how I felt, because I was like, okay, toothbrush. Like I was running in there like with a purpose. But yeah, so that was that. I feel like I would feel worse at a restaurant. Like retail, not so much, because you get checked out. They're going to be there. I don't know if you expect to like leave out the door as soon as like it hits 10 o'clock. Because I'm sure they still have to count their registers and like close and do whatever they got to do.
Yeah, that's what we had to do. Like, I used to be a cashier at like Marshalls and TJ Maxx back in the day.
That is so funny.
I know. I was trying to sell damn credit cards at the front. Got a couple, but you would have to like clean up your station. So once the closing hit, then you make sure your station's all cleaned up, make sure like the aisles are all cleaned up. So it's not like you're leaving exactly at 10. But I agree, like the restaurants would suck, because I'm sure they probably start cleaning and closing everything, because it's like, who's gonna walk in here in the next minute, and then someone does some full course meal, and then the cooks. So it's not just like obviously the waitresses, the servers, the cooks. Like it's a whole process that you're kind of delaying because you're hungry and got the munchies That used to test my patience so much when I used to work at Key Lime Cove, like way back in the day. This is like was it like my first like summer job after high school or something? But we used to close really late at like, let's say like 11. And then whenever the water park would close, people would run upstairs. We would get that late night rush of people, because everyone wants like a milkshake for some reason after the pool closed. And so they would go up there, and I could not like put on like a happy face. I would get so angry. Oh, I bet. I mean, but that's not very good on my part. No, but I think it's super natural. Every person at every job, when you've already had a long day, and then out of nowhere some rush happens at the end, it's like, just get me out of this day. Let me get to the next day. So I think it makes sense. But I definitely was like, oh, we're not going to make it. We made it. Got what we needed. Got out of there. And, I don't... We don't do it. Fine. We don't do it often, and like that was a one time kind of thing. Yeah, it was quick. I don't feel too bad. We were quick. We were quick in Target, and hopefully never happens your experience at Walmart. Dang, I got hit on and I didn't even go inside. Says a lot about you. You know what? It was kind of flattering. I'm like, okay. Still got it, because I don't leave. Of course you still got it. What the heck? Wait, but you know what's funny? When he said, how old are you? And I said 28, he's like, damn. I'm like, what do you mean by that? Like I didn't say that, but in my head I'm like, what do you mean by that? This dude. What? About to say something on this podcast and get us flagged. Okay. Actually, you know what? We have a couple other topics that we need to get to, but the main topics, right? We're talking about the main topic. Before we do, Look, SeatGeek is a great platform for anybody to buy tickets. We were talking about medieval times. I don't even know if you can look up tickets for medieval times, but if you can, maybe check out SeatGeek. We were also looking at potentially Indiana Fever tickets, playing the Chicago Sky. Caitlin Clark when she's back in action. You can check out SeatGeek, and if you use the code CouplesCoverage, you save $20 off your first purchase. So if you're looking to go to an event, make a great date night, check out SeatGeek. Use the
Father's Day's coming up.
Father's Day's coming up. Maybe something to do if you want to go check out a baseball game, things like that. Use SeatGeek. Use the promo code CouplesCoverage. Save $20 off your first purchase. So check out SeatGeek and use that promo code CouplesCoverage.
Thanks, SeatGeek.
There we go.
Oh my gosh, I haven't done that in a while.
I know. I'm Nicholas Moriano. This is Stephanie Bonse. This is Couples Coverage episode 43. And what are our main topics that we have for today?
Okay, main topics. So, you know what? This is kind of funny because my sisters are upstairs. And I feel like, I know they're not listening, but it makes me feel like we have a little audience, even though they're... Because they're going to hear this back and they're going to know
when it all happened.
Upstairs, yeah. Okay. So we got into our first wedding argument.
You know what?
Wedding hurdle.
Yeah, it's.
Oh wait. Should we talk about
the good experience with the wedding experience before we
Mine?
get into? Yes, yours. Before getting into the...
Okay, so a big update.
Big update.
This is actually kind of fun because like we're gonna listen back to these one day. Like we're gonna be able to listen back to these one day, and I can like remember.
Exactly.
But that's kind of why I like to share these little updates too. It's for ourselves. But I actually found my dress. Unexpectedly found my dress. Very random and spontaneous.
Yeah.
But everyone was off one Sunday, and my friend Lauren, shout out to Lauren. I don't know if Lauren watches, but shout out to Lauren if you do. She told me about this place in Wisconsin, actually, that I had heard about, but I just happened to look, and they had a bunch of openings for that following, literally like the next day, and everyone happened to be off. So I got to take my mom, my dad, my first time taking my dad too.
Yeah.
And my sisters. So we drove to Wisconsin. It was like 45 minutes to an hour away. And I had literally zero expectations. Like, no offense to any Wisconsin people out there, but I always kind of felt like, I felt like I would have to find my dress in like the city or somewhere. Even if it was like Wisconsin, I would feel like maybe like Madison or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know why, but not like a random town in Wisconsin that I'd never heard about. But yeah, I went in there with like no expectations. I tried on maybe like another 7 dresses. This is my 4th place that I had gone to, by the way. And I happened to find the one.
You did. And you texted me, yeah.
I know. Were you expecting me to find one?
No, I think that day too I went golfing, if I'm not.
No, you were helping a friend move.
Oh, that's right. That was the move day. Yep. No, but I wasn't expecting that because you said it would be spontaneous. I thought it was just gonna be like another trip on the list of trips that you did to look for a dress. But when you texted me, I was surprised, and you know, you sent me a couple of pictures, not of the dress, but you like. Actually, it was a video of you signing like was that an actual dress?
Yeah, you can. So once you like said yes to the dress, I've always wanted to have that experience of like saying yes, and they bring the champagne, and then just like the celebration part of it. So that was really cool. But yeah, part of like the celebratory thing you can do is like sign this wedding gown that they had there, and then you can just write like your name, your wedding date, and then you're part of like the little brides who found their dress there.
Yeah, and I heard that there's a little tears being shed.
Yeah,
by the
that
family.
Was another thing. I wanted to have that moment, but I also knew it was very normal to not have that moment. So yeah, honestly, like once my sister started crying, like my parents were crying, and then it made me cry. So it was like the most perfect way to find it, I think. Obviously, I would have loved to have like my friends there as well, but I do think there was something special about it just being like my family there.
Yeah, and your dad going on the very first one for the wedding dresses and happened to see that.
Yeah, it's so funny because my dad's like, "That's the most beautiful," and I'm like, "Dad, it's the first appointment you've gone to. How do you know?" He has seen pictures of the other ones, but I just thought it was funny that he was like so confident about this dress too, and I'm like, "Dad, this is the first time you've gone with me."
You just,
But
he
just
You
knew.
just knew.
Yeah, so I'm really excited. The one thing about dress shopping though is that like you don't get your dress for, well, in my case, I know it might be different for other places, but I won't get it for like 4 to 6 months because the ones that they have there are all samples. So I guess I could technically go back and try on the sample if I want to, but like I don't have it with me, so it's hard because it's such a like important part of like the wedding process, and I'm like I just want to try it on and figure out what like veil, what shoes, and like all this stuff, and I don't have it physically with me for a while.
I know we didn't talk about this beforehand, but you were also like after selecting dress, like you went through a period of like
It's called shopper's remorse.
that, and I think just there was
Shopper's.
you had a little bit of doubt too. Like I
Yeah.
feel like there was a lot of thoughts going in your mind. I think we were kind of talking. It's like you made a commitment to this dress,
Yeah.
and I know you had some feelings going on after that.
Yeah, so that was another thing. Once like the adrenaline comes down, and is it even adrenaline? I don't even know.
Yeah, this rush of
Once like
rush of
the
emotions, yeah.
little like happy bubble, you're done, right? We went, I was literally like on such a high on the way back. Like I couldn't wait to tell you. I couldn't wait to tell my friends, my bridesmaids that I found it. And then we got home and I was like, oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. And then I was trying to look through the pictures, and I feel like the pictures, it's hard to like look at the pictures and then also like remember how I was feeling in the moment when I actually had it on. So I started to like second guess myself, and I did go through a period of like, oh my gosh, like there's still so many dresses out there. How do I know this is the actual one? So I do feel like it's like a commitment thing. Like you wonder what else is out there.
Yeah, no, and I think that's what I was like trying to tell you, but it's like I can't do anything in that moment to like really, really help you.
Yeah.
Because you're the one who tried it on. You obviously felt good about it, and now you're kind of having these mixed emotions. Right when I see you at the end of the day, too, it's like, wait, but you texted me this, and now you're here. How do we get from here to here?
Yeah.
And it's like, for me, I didn't know
can't
how
do
to.
anything
I didn't
about
know
it,
how to
yeah.
quite handle or like help you out in that situation, but you eventually, I think, just over time, just kind of.
So no, what I had to do was just delete the pictures that I had, because the pictures are never going to do it justice for like how you felt in it when you were looking at yourself in the mirror, like the reaction of the people there, right? Like you see it in a picture, and then sometimes you could stare at it for so long that you're like, I've looked at this for too long that now I don't even know how I feel about it. And I think that's what was kind of happening to me. So I just honestly had to delete all the pictures of it and just kind of like stick to my like gut feeling of how I felt when I had it on, and like how I felt, literally until I got home, because I was so happy. I was so excited.
Yeah.
So that's honestly the only thing that helped me. I also know that's normal though. Like I was going through TikToks. Like I was like, I know was a possibility that this could happen. And it tends to happen to me a lot with certain things. Like I start to like second guess things. And I always told myself, I don't want to do that with a dress. Like I want to be like 1000% sure. And I felt it there, but
things happen, and then you eventually got back to feeling excited about it, and like you said, it's going to be some time before you actually see the dress again, so I'm sure that excitement will come right back when you
I do think so. It's just one of those things. It's just a big part of it. Like I think as a woman as a woman getting married, like you just want it to be perfect, so
that makes sense.
That's what it just makes it kind of hard.
Completely understand. What we also want to be perfect is every part of this wedding process. And as we're kind of figuring out, as we were talking about earlier before we kind of went to the wedding, you got, I would say hurdle is like the obstacle that we're kind of dealing with at this point. It's not really too much of an obstacle because we kind of figured it out. But look, I'm not going to show anything, but no addresses. You can't see that, but we do have, I don't even know if you could see, you can't really even read that. It's our save the dates. So we have them all, actually have them all over to my right. But Um, yeah, so you were writing down all of the addresses on each envelope. My job.
No, no, no.
What do you mean?
They're printed on there.
Oh, they're print. No, but you're writing like the back return address, right?
Oh yeah, I was like handwriting
Yeah.
our
So the
return
whole process that
address.
we were doing, well, we were actually right here on this very couch. You were writing on the back, and then my task was to then get our save the date, put it in the envelope with.
Pack it, but don't say much because people don't have them yet. Don't
Oh, and then put
something in there.
something in there, and make sure when it closes that it was nice and flat. You know, I heard you say all that, and I swear I heard you say all that.
I think I demonstrated too.
You demonstrated too, but I did not do that. Not for all of them. Definitely not for all of them. And what that did when you took it to the post office, then with some of these envelopes that were definitely not flat, had a little bit thickness to them, it then made the postage for those envelopes. It required another stamp or two onto the 50 or 60 invitations that we already have.
Hold on. I don't feel like unless you've planned a wedding, you don't understand how frustrating having to do 3 stamps on a save the date. Not even the actual invites, just to save the date. So, not gonna lie, I left there crying. I left the post office crying.
That doesn't surprise me.
Well, it's just frustrating because I'm like such a waste of money. Like, I know it's not terrible. Like, it's not a terrible. It's expensive though. You're paying for stamps. This is literally what you're paying for. You're paying for stamps.
Mm-hmm.
So you're like, really? So it was just very frustrating.
Yeah, you called me when I was at work, and I'm like, you said, can you call me? Or I forgot what the text was. I'm like, yeah, sure. You know, of course I'll call my fiance. And then call, and then like the mood just dramatically changed from what I thought the phone call was going to be. And then, you know, in that moment, like I messed up. Like I know we said first wedding, hurdle. Well, we said hurdle, but the word that we kind of used for a second there,
argument.
It's not an argument because I'm wrong. So with me being wrong, it's like I knew that was my fault, and so I know in the past I would have been like, oh, you know, trying to defend my actions, like, oh, but you know, maybe you didn't show me. Like, I know that's how I would have been, but you did show me. I knew what I had to do.
Yeah.
And yet I still messed up.
The thing is, I think you originally thought that I wanted them this way because of how it looked. Because I remember I redid some of them, right? We kind of got into like a little bit of an argument because as I was putting the stamps on them, I'm like, why are these so thick? I'm like, why are these so thick? And so I'm like, I'm just going to open it because I don't know why it's like this. And I opened it. It was packed wrong. And
yeah.
And then we got into a little argument then because you're like, babe, people are only going to look at them for like a second. I'm like, it has nothing to do. Yes, it does actually, because I do want them a certain way, but it was more so because I wanted to avoid these extra little charges that like we don't need to pay for. But so yeah, I think originally you were thinking it was because I was just being very like particular about
a look thing. That's what I think it was. I'm like, okay, I know perfectionist with like that, but people are going to look at these, whatever. But I don't think I was actually putting into account that part of it. And so when we have that phone call, like, I'm wrong. I'm sorry. Like, that's literally because I know I'm wrong. And now obviously I'm going to do what I need to do to fix it and buy more stamps and get everything where it needs to be so I can send out these save the dates. But it's just, in that instance of like, I'm sorry. Like, that's all I could do because I know I was wrong, and it's kind of where it's at.
It's just kind of funny because when I went to the post office, they can tell that I was really frustrated because here I go, like, okay, can I get these like hand stamped? I thought it was going to be like super easy. And then to be honest, sending things out is kind of like foreign to me. Like, I don't remember the last time I've sent out like a letter, or let alone something that needs multiple stamps and like types of stamps, and you know what I mean? Like things like that. I'm just like,
it's like, it's not outdated because obviously people still use it, but it's like if you're I'm not usually sending things out. I'm usually having things sent to me through like Amazon or like,
Yeah.
packages. But yeah, no.
You're emailing
Your
people.
email,
You're not
exactly.
sending letters here. But so they were trying to like help me not be like too upset. They're like, don't get so frustrated. And I'm like, well, some of these aren't that thick. I was gonna say the ones I did aren't like that. And then she's like, oh, there's two different kinds. I'm like, no, it's just that some I packed and some my fiance packed, and I don't think he did it right. And then the man was like, the guy that was in there, he's like, you know what? We never get it right, do we? He's like, you guys just have to tell us a couple times. It's hard for us to get things right.
That's
And
true. I cannot wait
think
to
he
go
was just
back
trying
to
to
the
make me feel
post
better.
office. I'm like, I'm the fiance that packed them wrong.
Yeah, because they were like,
That's
do you
me.
guys want to do you just want to take the stamps with you? Because they had them physically there. I'm like, no, I'm going to make him come get these stamps.
Yep, man.
I was telling my brother about this. He's like, geez, Bridezilla. And I'm like, am I Bridezilla or...
It should have just been done right the first time. Probably that one. But I will get it right. I will go there and I'll make the people up there laugh when I eventually go up there and correct everything.
I think it's normal to be like upset over little things like that because a lot of time and like effort goes into it, but it is just something small. So I mean, I'm not going to be mad about it for too long. We were fine by the end of the day, but
Yeah.
it was just kind of like our first little wedding thing that
Hurdle.
kind of caused like some friction between us.
It's probably the first, and honestly, for being honest with it, it's probably not going to be the last. Like, I think just when you're working on something like this big, there's just going to be some other things that come up, but like we just need to know how to respond and find solutions to it.
Yeah.
And listen the first time.
You know what's funny to me? It's that, so I feel like we always talk about it, how I know now like the term is like girlfriend brain. Like I feel like I have girlfriend brain around you where I'm like, oh, where are we going? Tell me where to go. Like you figure out what we're gonna do. Actually, no, we sometimes figure things out together, but like getting us there.
You're like my, what do I
What
call you?
time?
My
Like
little
I'm
lamb?
like, what time do I have to be ready by? Yeah, even when we like go somewhere, I feel like you're literally like
I'm the herding dog while you're the
I'm the little lamb.
little lamb.
Yeah. But when it comes to wedding stuff, I feel like I'm guiding us through this, even though it's technically new to, I mean, it's new to me too. I don't know what we're doing. Even we were printing stuff the other day. I'm like, why is printing things so complicated? We were trying to print some envelopes that like were missed in our what was
List?
it called? Yeah, just our order because they got done for us, but we missed some.
Yeah.
I don't know how we missed some, so we had to do it ourselves. And that took us forever.
Working a printer. Like, again, I mean, honestly, like, how many things are we printing too?
I know, but I feel like we're in such an age where we're good at technology. Like, we can figure things out. And we did, right? But figuring out this old printer took us forever. I'm like, why is it so complicated to print something out? It's like they never want to work when you need them.
No. But
And
we did.
We did get it to work, but...
We did, yeah. So it ended up working, and we figured out that old printer. But, again, it's like things that you don't actually use.
Yeah.
So...
But yeah, I just thought it was kind of funny. And then I don't know if you wanted to, like the whole like girlfriend brain, but then I feel like guys are so funny too when it comes to certain things.
Oh yeah, let's. I want to give my guy Parker here a shout out because now I'm gonna make fun of him real quick. Speaking like the way that guys' brains and girls' brains work in terms of like coordinating things and like a bachelorette party versus a bachelor party. I feel like for guys, it's very low key. Let's try to make things like I'm currently trying to plan, Parker's bachelor party, but he's obviously the one that's, asking people to be his best man and like his groomsmen. Hilarious story. My guy Parker's he's awesome. He's also just forgetful, is a good way of putting it. But I was working on something, and then I get a call from one of my other friends, Louie, and he's like, "Hey Nick, I got a question for you. I think you would know the answer to this." I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "I saw you put me in a group chat with all these other people, and you're talking about planning a bachelor party. I also got this text link for a black tuxedo. Am I one of the groomsmen?" I'm like, what? Like, that's what Parker's fiance had told me. And I would assume that he asked you, like he asked me to be his best man. He's like, no, I didn't get asked.
Keep in mind this wedding's in like 3 months.
Yeah. So we are on crunch time here, but I'm like, I thought you were a groomsman. And he's like, I never got asked. And my friend Louis called another one of my friends who's also in the wedding party. So then I go and text Parker's fiance, like, hey, funny story, basically explaining everything that I just touched upon right now. And like, did Parker ever ask Louis? And even she was like, I think he did. Like, how could he not? And literally a couple seconds later, he's like, just talk to him. He did not. He's like looking through the text messages. And I'm like,
he forgot.
But we played golf that upcoming weekend, and it was hilarious. Just like talking about it. I'm like, that is such a Parker thing, but I think that's also just guys in general. We're kind of a little bit more low key. It's just like a
guy thing in general, because I was like, okay, girls, like, it's one of the things we can't wait to do. It's like, oh my gosh, I can't wait to make my bridesmaid proposal boxes and stuff. And guys, like, no, I haven't even thought about it yet.
I haven't thought about mine at all. Like, I think I know who I'm gonna have in my group, but in terms of actually asking, I have no idea. I know we even talked about it. Like, what can I do that's not, I don't know. What could I do? And like, still brainstorm some ideas.
But just the fact that he forgot, like, I just thought it was so funny. But I actually sent you a TikTok because I was like, wow, it's not like a unique experience that this happens.
It was almost the exact situation.
I'm gonna pull it up. But it was basically this guy saying he found out he was the best man in a wedding because he got the save the date in the mail and opened up the QR code and saw himself on their website as the best man. That's how he found out. And everyone in the comments was like, yep, like sharing similar stories. Or I think I was telling you about how there was 2 best friends who assumed they were both going to be each other's best man and didn't talk about it or coordinate. And their wedding ended up being on the same weekend, and then they couldn't be each other's best man.
That's insane too. Like, that's crazy. But I guess it's a common thing. Look, I think I'll have things a little bit more coordinated than some people. But
to be fair, he had a big group. I'll give you that, Parker.
Yeah, we'll give him that. But I'm gonna get that bachelor party planned out, and all the groomsmen, whether they were asked formally or not, will be there, and we'll have a fun time. So
yeah,
it'll be good.
I don't know. I just thought it was so funny. But yeah, I'm excited to see what you do. I'm excited for you because you still have to do that.
I know. You're probably going to end up helping me, to be completely honest.
You know what?
No?
I would love to, but I also think that's very, like, personal. Like, you got to ask your friends. So, like...
That's true. You can help me brainsome ideas. I'll actually execute it by myself.
Oh, I was going to say, you brainstorm and I'll help you execute.
Oh, whichever way. So there will be some help.
Yeah.
Some way, somehow.
Yeah. Honestly, I kind of feel like that does it. I feel like that was a quick episode.
I don't know.
Do you feel like that was quick?
Maybe it was quick. Maybe usually we have, so you can't see this, but our laptop's right in front, and it usually shows us the time. But after a while, it kind of goes dark. So maybe we have been recording for a good minute.
Yeah.
On the feed spot, it says our average episode's around 45 minutes. So we'll see where that kind of lasts.
I do want to say, I feel like we want to make an episode kind of dedicated to all the little things we've learned about, like, wedding stuff. But I feel like that could be its own video.
Yeah, for sure.
So yeah, we'll see. Oh my gosh, it's getting windy.
I know this, like, it has been getting hotter, but it's also, there's been like random rainstorms, wind apparently. Just a lot of weird stuff.
But we're
not going to get into weather talk here at the end of episode 43. We appreciate everyone for listening, for listening to previous episode, especially our last one that we did. It was cool to see all the engagement, all the messages, and hopefully this one gets a lot of interaction as well as we kind of keep, continue doing this. And make sure use that promo code Couples Coverage, SeatGeek. Check it out, and then also subscribe to Couples Coverage on YouTube. We're also on Spotify, Apple Podcasts. Really, I was looking it up. It's literally on every single podcast platform. So whatever you use, you can find Couples Coverage on there. So, again, appreciate everyone for listening to episode 43 of Couples Coverage, and we'll brainstorm some good topics for will be episode 44. But until then, adios.
Bye.